What's going on, people? It's Mr. Door back again with the review show. I hope everyone's fit and well. Yes, another defeat for Nottingham Forest. They lost 2-0 to Tottenham Hotspur. I'm going to digest on how everyone's feeling about the game. If you are new to the channel, please do hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and comment below, people. Have your thoughts and feelings. The topics that we are going to talk about, get involved now. Right. It's hard to want to talk about. Before we do, let's get the panel in. First of all, let's Steve in. How you doing, Steve?
Yeah, right, Dan. Another football blues weekend, but maybe we'll get the W soon.
Steve, football depressed.
Football depressed. Yeah.
Football depressed. Next door, we've got the man himself, Rads. How you doing, Rads?
Yeah, I'm fine overall, but football-wise, it's been better. Yeah, that's all I can say, really.
And last but not least, he's been away. He's been on the run. He's lost. I don't know. He doesn't talk much. I don't know. He's always talking a lot on his chat, but he's back. The man himself rubs it in every single time. I've been sitting there, but I don't care. Dylan Astle. How you feeling, Dylan? Glad to be back.
Yeah. Thank you for re-signing me. It took this long to negotiate, but yes, I'm glad to be back.
What it was, if he talks nonsense, he's out for 6 months again. But I'm happy for Dylan to be back. People in the chat, please show some love to everyone as well. Rads has got a channel as well, as everyone knows. Rads makes sure everyone subscribes to Rads. I'm watching out for his vlog yesterday. Right. Before we do so, let's get in the chat. Let's get in the chat as well. The number one, Rads, evening. Oh, we need a decent goalkeeper. Let's check ASAP. Come on, you Reds. I think we do. We really do as well. I've got a new member to the channel, Andrew Sharp, for being a member. Thank you, Andrew, for being a member to my channel. If you can email me, and I'll email back and forth. Thank you very much as well. And his message as well. Cheer up, lad. Chaps, we are cheered up. And our number one fan, he's back on. Cooper has to go. Peter, the Irish guy, my number one fan on here. Good to see you, Peter. Good to see you. Kieran, change is needed. I'm sorry, guys, but I can't think we're going down. Cooper has run out of ideas as well. And that's how he's feeling. David, how you doing, David? Another top lad, always watching this channel. Mohammed, another top man as well. Hi, guys. Really poor performance yesterday for the lads, but I think Steve Cooper is time to up now. We need to bring in former Wolves manager or Oliver Dawson and drop Mark Turner. Okay. Chris, evening Nottingham, how would your new coach be able to get better results and experience but underperforming Rostov? That's something that I want to talk as well throughout the show. Peter Walsh, how are you doing, Pete? I hope you're okay. I don't want Cooper to go, but unfortunately, it's come preventable. If we don't win against Bournemouth, I think it's time for the final straw. Yes, as well. Well, that's something that we can talk about throughout the show. Steve, seeing that we're back where we are time last season, but without the same spirit in the team, 100%. Steve says, "Good evening, Mr. Dalton and Steve and Rad. Hope you are well. I had a great time last night, but before the game, and I got back at 1:20 in the morning. Really unbelievable. We'll go for more of the chats as well. Another one. Time for change, new ideas. This is only one way, unfortunately, guys. Like I said, we will talk about it. 1 win in 13 over the further season. We need to move on. Enough is enough. Right. Let's go for you, Rads. What's your thoughts and feelings about yesterday and the whole situation?
Overall, overall, I mean, it's hard to really sum up. Really, it's quite a difficult place for us right now. Obviously, we spent so long trying to get to the Premier League. We knew it wasn't going to be easy to stay here. And now we are here. We've obviously been in worse positions. Not even been in this league before, but it still doesn't make it all right. And yeah, ultimately the form really all season's been pretty poor. But particularly since that Luton game for me, it's only really gone downhill with performances at the very least. Because before that, we were just drawing quite a few games, and before that, before a lot of these new lads came into the side, which have now seemingly been filtered out again, which says a lot. We're still losing, but some of the best teams in the league. So it's been a bit of a weird season, really, but not a great season so far. And yeah, I like to try and be as positive as I can and pro Cooper and that, but it is getting hard to be positive about the situation because it's 1 win in 13 games, 3 all season. That one win was against Aston Villa, which I'm still scratching my head as to how he managed to do that. And yeah, it's just it seems to be copy and paste performances every single week, really. But besides Fulham, which was just an outright disgrace, really, on its own. And then we saw the Wolves game; it was much better compared to Fulham, but still not what we wanted. And then yesterday, not even that bad, really, apart from the final 20-odd minutes. It just became very flat. Just silly mistakes again, both keepers we can be very critical about. That comes down to recruitment, which is another problem. Total lack of end product up top. Certain players not being as good as they were last season, like Danilo. I don't think he's been as strong, for example. There's lots of things we can pinpoint as to what the problem is, but yeah, I just hope it can be sorted soon. But I do fear it's going to come at a cost, and that probably is going to be the manager. Maybe that's the right thing at this stage. I do think it is inevitable that it's going to happen, but yeah, it is a sad situation really for us right now. But we've got to get through
it. Steve, what's your thoughts on this game?
I don't think we played. Obviously, like Grad said, the Fulham game was a disgrace. Can never get as low as that. But I think we played that bad. We showed more fight. But again, it's just that final third. We got no, cutting edge. Alanga, he's going to be the new Mr. Offside, I think, and frustrating. If he just held his line a few times. They were very tight calls, mind you, fair. The first one in the first half, very tight. Obviously, the goal I was disallowed. I was just hoping that Yates was covering the line a bit of the left back, and I was hoping they'd just go our way. Maybe they couldn't get a full view of it and give us the benefit of the doubt. But again, if Alanga, he got pace to burn. So even if he just give himself a lesser yard, we make our yard up like that. He's so quick. That Spurs keeper, if he tried that save another 100 times, he wouldn't put it off. Hitting his leg and going wide. That could have gone in. We hit the post. We just had chances, but again, Spurs has had that extra quality, didn't he? And a bit like the Brighton game, I found Johnson going off benefited them a bit because I pronounce his name again, the guy who scored the second goal.
Kotiski.
He went on the right where Johnson was playing. Obviously, he whipped the ball in for the first goal. Obviously, he scored his goal from that side. So it's kind of like Johnson going off changed their formation and it made benefited them, it's just frustrating, Ben. The team feels a bit stale at the moment. There's no Ian Gibbs White sound a bit of a stinker and at the moment he's getting frustrated. There's no we got pace and with Alanga, but there's nothing's getting off our seat in the most. It's very stale, it's very dry, it's just nothing there at the moment. No spark. Like Rad said, players like DeLilo, haven't got that spark. I don't know what it is. Obviously, we don't know. But again, it goes back to that Luton game. Ever since that Luton game, form was just gone. I think it's just absolutely zapped the energy and the confidence in the team. And I think maybe some home truths to be said after that game, and some players have got the hump. And bar the Villa game, it's just rubbed off on the pitch.
No, last but not least, the man himself, Dylan. I think he's got loads to talk about. What's your thoughts, Dylan?
Well, just the same as the rest of the guys, isn't it? It's just same old again. Same old system, same old things, trying, hitting a brick wall. Just getting it's just so frustrating. Just so frustrating seeing it. The way we're trying to play, we've got no one up top. No one seems to be doing anything for us. Do you know what I mean? I believe, and this is my personal opinion, but I believe we can't have gone we played Aston Villa and we looked like an awesome team. So
Yeah,
how
but
have we?
let me say something. We had Tyrone Ronley at that game.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. But we can't base ourselves on one player.
Yeah.
One player, simple as. Do you know what I mean? How Awoniyi holds the ball up well. Do you know what I mean? Yes, Woods ain't doing it because I watched Woods yesterday quite closely, and he just, to say how tall he is, he doesn't jump. He just seems to get smothered a lot. Do you know what I mean? So, but my concern is how has it gone from Aston Villa performance to now? Do you know what I mean? And like the boys have said, after the Luton game, yeah. And a lot of people, I'm not critical. Do you know what I mean? I love Cooper and everything, but what has to change? Something has to change. It's like he played a certain style of football to begin the season, and we looked quite good because people were like, "Oh, hold on a minute, Forest didn't play like this end of last season, and all this," and we got on the front foot. But it seems to be now after the Fulham game, he's just gone back and gone, "Oh, I'll stick 5 at the back. I'll go back to the way I played the end of last season that made us survive." Do you know what I mean? And to me, it sounds like I'm bashing him, but I'm not. Do you know what I mean?
Feel free.
No, but it's like
I'm not going to tell you what to say. Like other people think.
No. Of course.
Let me just say something. Like people assume that I tell these lot to say what to stick what secret. I don't. So if that's how people think, I say I do not say. Dylan, that's how people feel. Carry on, Dylan. Sorry to disturb you.
No, but it's someone's got. The way I look at it is, at the end of the day, these players are not rubbish. They're not whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? Gibbs White, yeah, he's having a bad time, but why is he having a bad time? All right, he's just had a baby in that, but that still don't make you a bad player. You've got Elanga, he's awesome. Do you know what I mean? You've got Callum Hudson-Odoi. I just don't understand why we don't play them. While Awoniyi's out, why we don't play them 3, and we don't attack more because. We're watching the game yesterday. The first half was a bit, whatever. This is a bit boring. It went flat, and you would have. I bet Rads and Ben thought. Did you think that? It to the start of the match, it was really lively, and then all of a sudden it just went down, and you just sat there. And you could. It was so flat. But then the second half, until that goal went in, the second goal, the way Forest were playing, the urgency. Let's get this done. Let's do something. Why are they not doing that from the start? Do you know what I mean? And I've noticed a lot as well when they play is they stand off too much. And I was saying this to my mate the other day. You watch a team like Everton. I went to the Everton game and watched them. As soon as Forest got the ball, they had at least two players chopping at the heels. And I went but when the likes of another team gets the ball, it's like we stand there and we're like, we've got to give them at least 4 or 5 yards space because they're coming closer. We need to keep this gap and we need to keep moving back. Do you know what I mean? Why aren't they going straight in for them, closing the ball down? It's just stuff like that, and it just everyone says the players are this, the players that, but you've got to look deeper into it. Who tells them to do what they're doing? So, but that's maybe you can turn it around, maybe you can't. This notion.
That's what I say. People, when I said, if you haven't got your thoughts about how you feel about Cooper, like Dylan says, like I say, he's on edge. Like I think, like I said, I'm getting there. But I'm not going to say keep.
The one thing that I took out the equation is sentimental.
Yeah, everyone has to. Everyone has to take the sentimental out.
Not everyone has, and not everyone has because everyone's like, oh, do you know what I mean? But what is in my opinion, league status is more important than anything else. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. Any players, any managers. So
yeah, and I know how you feel. Let me. What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts, Rads, on what Dylan said? Do you agree, disagree with him
about Cooper?
Yeah,
I agree. To be honest, like I can say that I have fallen for that sentimental thing because, like especially as a younger fan, I've never known anyone better than Steve Cooper at Forest. But it doesn't mean that we can't criticise him. You know, like with every reason, you know, and no one's devoid of it. And I do get what people say. Oh, yeah, Cooper, yeah, he got us promoted and kept us up in the end. But he has struggled at this level. You know, if you look at the fact we've only won 2 away games since they've been in the Premier League, that's just atrocious. You know, and now the home form's declining, and it's the same thing over and over again. In ways, even if we do actually try and set up differently or change the personnel, like we have done an awful lot recently, until yesterday when we actually finally did an unchanged team, which is that a long-term starting 11? Like, is Chiarte suddenly going to be our starting midfielder? I don't think that's the option, really. But we still typically play the same way, and it's also a bit hit and miss. Like as Dylan said, towards the end of that Brighton game, and at times yesterday, we're like piling on pressure, and then we just start sitting off teams, or like we can see the goal, our heads drop, which happens an awful lot. You know, the amount of times we can see goals in quick succession, it's just suicide. Like you can't do that. The amount of times we've done that, I've lost count. And you know, it's just rookie errors over and over again, really. So yes, would it be a good decision to change Steve Cooper? Maybe yes. You know, I think if it wasn't Cooper, I think we probably would all be like pushing it a bit more. But at the same time, I get why a lot of people, and including me, why we shouldn't do that, because like who really is going to come in and do a better job, even if there is a better manager? Like, is it just down to the recruitment again, as I mentioned earlier? Like, can anyone really get a turn out of these players better than what Cooper is? You know, so it is a big risk, but it could pay off. It could not, like with everything. So yeah, it's a really grey area, really, as to whether it's the right decision or not. But either way, I do think eventually Marinakis will pull the trigger, and I think he's wanted to do that for a while, to be fair. You know, he's spent a lot of money, he's invested in the club, he's got every right to do what he wants.
Is it 11 million that he's done as well?
Yeah.
So like I said, you've got to praise Mr. Marinakis for backing the club.
It's about 70. I think it's about 75 million over the last 3 years. He's converted into shares.
You've got to back him. You've got to praise him. Like I said, what owner will do that? It's like we've had bad owners.
But just a quick one before you go on, Stephen. But just a quick one, like Raj just said, the sentimental value, right? My point is exactly right. Love the guy, well, what he's done for the club and everything. But look at Marinakis, right? He pulls the trigger. Steve Cooper goes, right? People will be on Marinakis like anything. Yeah. Look at what Marinakis has done for this club since he's took over. How he survived. How we've got through COVID. And the infrastructure that we're building. Do you know what I mean? So sentimental value is in place for one thing, but like Rad says, people are still up for criticism.
Before I get Steve's opinion, thank you, Andrew, for the £2. And the question is, says, Mr. M must immediate now back or sack Cooper. And I say thank you for the £2, Andrew. Much appreciate as well. You want to answer that, Steve? Do you think Mr. Marinakis needs to back him or sack Cooper? And there's one people in the chat as well. What do you think about that? What Andrew said. Do you think Mr. Marinakis needs to back him or sack him? What do you think, Steve?
Do you know what? I can't recall being a Forest fan being in this position with a manager. It's so rare that being emotionally attached to a manager, which a lot of us are to Cooper. And like the boys have said, you know, a sentimental feeling about it, and it's kind of like you want it to work for him, but it's almost, you just know what's going to happen. You just can see it happening. He's going to get sacked at any point. I feel he's going to be given a Bournemouth game. If we don't win that, I don't think a draw is going to be enough. I think he's gone. And it's like you want it to work for Cooper, and it's rare. Like I said, it's just so rare to be in this position where. But one win in 13, even the most hardened of Cooper fans got to admit that is dreadful. And like Raj said, 2 away wins in the last 2 years, you know, in the second year in the Premier League. That's not good enough. And it's just, I feel for him. And I know, like I've said to a few boys in work, that Cooper loves the club. And they just laughed at me and said, look, most managers say that. Most players say that. It doesn't mean they actually love the club. But I genuinely feel that Cooper has that connection with us and the club. But then Cooper will go on to. My personal opinion is we'll sack him. Roy Hodgson will go from Palace, and Cooper will be straight into Palace. I can see it happening from a mile off. But where that leaves us, then, I mean, would we all agree that would we stick with Cooper? Marinakis rides with him and backs him, but then we keep on going this bad run just because Marinakis is scared, like Dylan said, scared to sack him because of the backlash? Or do we get a guy to come in who's got no connection with the fans, who just comes in, no nonsense, not doesn't want to bother with all fist pumps, get involved with the crowd, just wants to do his job, get the team playing, get the team winning, and just does his job. That's what I mean about in this position where we're so attached to Cooper in both pro and anti-Cooper. It's so hard. You want it to work. But for me, like Dylan said earlier, Forest has to come first. No manager, no players bigger than the club. And for me, we've got to start getting them W's. And if that means without Cooper, so be it. And if he goes on to other things, I wish him luck. But if we were to get another guy in like Lopetegui or someone who's no nonsense, just get in there, fire the players up, kick them up the backside, we start getting W's and we survive, we end up mid-table. Are we going to look up? Are we going to do a short end of the season going, thanks Cooper, but we have to survive. And we have to survive in this league because I'm telling you what, if we get sucked in and we go down one of these three, Sheffield United, we deserve to go down because them three are awful. Them three teams are awful. So, I mean, we just need to, something needs to happen, Ben. Like, something needs to happen soon. And if that beats, I still think if we beat Bournemouth Saturday, I don't know when he's going to pull the trigger, though. I don't know when, Ben. I don't know if it's going to take.
That's the thing. That's the thing. See, like, you know what? What you just said as well, and that was the next question for everyone and in the chat as well, because if we, like I said, what Steve just said, if we get rid of Steve Cooper, and like I said, it will be soon. We don't know when, but it will be soon. This manager will be. Let me put in like we know what Mr. Marinakis is like at Olympiacos. He has a manager every 6 months. If we get this new manager, and we know the Premier League is brutal, if the new manager comes in and we lose 6 in a row or whatever it is, he's going to be under pressure. And like the last 23 years, it's been horrible. And yeah, Steve Cooper's done a fantastic job for us. Got us back in the Premier League, a semi-final in the Carabao Cup, kept us up in the league. This season, it's so different. Got better players as well. I'm not saying, like I said, let me clarify that. I'm not going to say Cooper in, because we've got to put the club for Cooper. But I'm not going to go on the stream and say Cooper out, and say this stand up. I'm being disrespectful to him, because I'm not. Because what he's done for the club is second to none. Raz, let me ask you, Raz. Like, and people in the chat as well, get involved. Do you think this game against Bournemouth, if Forest win against Bournemouth, is that do you think he's still going to be under pressure or not?
Yes, he'll definitely be under pressure.
He's going to be pressure on the next game anyway.
Yeah, even if you're winning, there's still an element of pressure. But I think Cooper would need to win a lot of games in a short period of time, or a long period of time actually, to like convince people that he's the right man again, like truly. Because like we're saying, it's kind of coming down to sentimentality now. Like, are we just at all saying keep Cooper because of what he's done for this club or not? I think a lot of people are, and I kind of am. And I do see that Cooper has potential as a manager. Ultimately, he's still a young manager that's still quite inexperienced, especially at this level. So that doesn't help him out at all. I don't think it's entirely on Cooper. The players have certainly made mistakes, like yesterday, Matt Turner making that mistake. That's not entirely on Cooper. That he had a goalkeeper that can't take goal kicks properly, for example, But back to the Bournemouth game, I mean, yeah, I think it is a make or break game. If he wins, then it probably keeps him going for another game. But then it's Newcastle away,
Newcastle, then Man U.
Exactly. Newcastle away is probably one of the hardest places to go, despite the fact they've lost a few recently. They won today against Fulham. He put 5 past us and West Ham. So
we got Brentford, Arsenal.
Yeah. Then you got Arsenal, which is obviously very tough, and Man United, no matter what Man United are like.
Brentford away.
Yeah. So
plus, players go to AFCON as well.
Yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking like, when is the next win or point coming from? You know, even if we're winning games, that would be a tough rid of matches. So it's like, would it be the right time to move Cooper on after Bournemouth? But Bournemouth are no mugs at all. They're in really good form. So, you know, if he loses or draws, I do agree. Like, and I know we've said, oh yeah, Cooper's going to go next game if he doesn't win, and he somehow keeps going. But you know, how long can we keep saying that? And in ways, though it sounds horrible saying this, it kind of be a relief in ways, because it's like this constant pressure every single game. Like, oh yeah, this is it, and then it isn't. He carries on. It's like constantly thinking, is the manager going to be here next game? Like, I just kind of want to know one way or the other. Like, is Cooper going to be here in 6 months, or is he not? You know, so it's quite tedious, really, from that point of view. And I think ultimately, going back to that sentimental thing, like he doesn't deserve to go out with this constant bandwagon on him. But yeah, it is what it is. But I do feel it's not far off, to be fair.
Before I get Dylan, I got super chat, and he's always watched my show, Top Man Special, giving me the £4.99. That will go towards Dylan's Christmas present for not being here for a long time. I'll be gutted if Cooper goes, as it feels the players keep making mistakes. Give him time. What do you think about that comment? About Clash's comment?
Well, about the pressure on Cooper.
Yeah.
Well, right. I'm gonna say, right, look at it different objectively. The way I'm gonna look at it, right, is 5-0. We get hammered at Fulham. Everybody says Cooper has one more game to go, one more to save his job. That's got to be a load of crap, because you're going to look at it this way. You can't have a manager surviving on just one game. No way. No way. Simple. So I think, has the decision been made already? Are they waiting? Because if you look back on what Marinakis has ever done when we've sacked a manager or got rid of a manager, he's always, oh yeah, we've sacked so-and-so, but then we're bringing so-and-so in. Do you know what I mean? We're not one of these clubs that go, oh, we've sacked so-and-so, but so-and-so's in charge for the next 3 games and then we'll sort it out then. He always seems to get rid of that manager, and then within the next 24 hours or 8 minutes, like it was with Lamucci, but announce it. So, but the pressure, Cooper's going to be under pressure. Always. Do you know what I mean? It's like the constant questions are these his players? Has he picked them? Who's brought them in? What has he done? But you've got to look at his title. He's not manager, he's head coach. So therefore, head coach is basically the club buy the players, bring the players. Here's your players.
And he knew that. Before he come to the club.
Exactly. Yeah. And here's your players. We've got players from different. We've got how many Brazilians have we got? We've got loads of Brazilians. Do you know what I mean? Different from different parts of the world now coming in, and he's expected to coach these players, which some are not used to the system he plays, some are not used to this way. But unfortunately, results matter. And if it was, like Steve said, if it wasn't for them 3 teams below us, and it was a normal Premier League season, we'd be down. We'd probably be near the bottom now. Do you know what I mean? So I don't want him to go. I really want it to work and all that. But
let me flip it right, because, like I said, I don't want him to go. People like in the chat. I'll put a poll up in a minute about Steve Cooper. Like the striker situation is. I'm asking Steve to answer this as well. The striker situation is so hard since Tabo got injured. We're struggling to find goals, and I was talking to Rads before after the game about Elanga. He knows how to run past someone, but the final third kills us. Do you think, people in the chat as well, we should wait till January if we do get a striker? Because I know Cooper loves to get his players in early. He always does. Do you think we should wait if Cooper brings in a striker in January, or get a new manager? What do you think, Steve? People in the chat as well, get involved.
Well, in regarding the striker position, with the club, and it goes back to recruitment, with the club knowing that Taiwo is injury prone, they should have gone out and really focused. And we said this during the summer, on the off season and doing these shows and so on. And the end of last season, we needed another striker, and we knew that Chris Wood wasn't the answer. Origi's come in and just hasn't done the business. He doesn't look fit to be. So the recruitment side of things, they should have gone out, and you can tie it in. I'm sure we'd get to the keeper maybe later, the goalkeepers later.
Yeah.
With the other end of the pitch, it was crying out. I know strikers are hard to come by, but you take it look at someone like Solanke now at Bournemouth.
I love him. I love him.
I would take him. I would take him.
So Steve, sorry, Malcolm. I'm going to throw Malcolm out under the bus. Malcolm doesn't like Solanke. I like Solanke.
I think he would do a job for us. Yeah. But
not
you know what?
necessarily he would work here. He's not guaranteed to work here. Is it?
What sorry, Dills?
I'm just saying he's not guaranteed. He worked well at Bournemouth.
Oh, yeah. There's a style of play.
He's not guaranteed to come here and work
well. I've seen a lot of Forest fans bringing up the boy from Luton, Adebayo, is it? Saying he's strong, he'd be a good backup for Taiwo. But you make a good point, Dill, is these players are good at what they do at their clubs, but will they suit the way we play? But like you said right in the beginning of the show, what brand are we going to play at the moment? I keep on saying about Chris Wood, you have to play into his strengths. Origi, we don't know what he brings to the table yet, but we know what Taiwo's. Can I just say one thing as well? Just pick up what Dill said earlier about one player. The one thing I would counteract to that, though, some teams, taking one player out does stand out. For example, take Rodri out to that Man City team. Yes. They're not the same team. Right? You take Salah out to Liverpool. You know what I mean? I agree what you're saying about Taiwo in regarding to one player shouldn't make the team, but Taiwo, if you watch the way we set up with Taiwo, he is so important to the system. The way he brings players in, the way he roughs up defenders, he backs in. He's always a threat. It's just I feel we needed that backup. We just didn't recruit properly in the summer with that striker. And who we get in the January window, can we throw some names out there? I don't think Solanke is obviously a realistic target.
In the January window, right? Look at it this way. Like I said to a friend said to me the other day, you want a top striker in the January window, you're either very lucky to get one, or you're going to have to pay through that absolute nose to get
someone
one.
who's better than Taiwo, wasn't he?
Yeah, but
like on par with him. Maybe not better, but on par.
Right, let's put it straight. Who's better? Who's on par with Taiwo, wasn't he? That will want to be on the bench.
Well, I heard the name that.
Hey, go on, Dill.
Go on, Dylan.
I heard it, and I was like, yeah, all right. But we could say, what about Keenan Davis? He held the ball up well. No. I'm just saying. I'm not saying he'd be any good, but he's that kind of player that a 1 year is. 1 year's got that little bit more than him.
Yeah.
But he was that kind of hold-up player. And if that's the kind of brand of football we want to play, the one thing we haven't got, and that's the problem, is an identity that every other team has got. Everton, I've seen Everton tonight. They've got an identity.
Luton have.
Simple.
Luton have.
And Luton. And
I do know all right.
Sorry, Steve.
Wait.
This from Peter Collins. Sorry, Steve. We should sign Shuey Grassi for Stuttgart. He's been playing well this season. We was linked with him, but everyone's linked with him because he's the best striker in Europe.
Man United are now.
Yeah, Man United after him. So that'd be a great fit for Forest, but everyone's after him. So
you're going to chuck 35, 40 million at him, in January. He comes in January and does nothing. Does nothing. Oh my God, what's everyone going to say then?
Exactly.
That's the problem.
That's my point.
But we all go on about a 1 year, which Stephen makes a good point. But we have 24 other players in the squad.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? A 1 year's injured. Simple. Gone. Done and dusted. If he wasn't injured, he'd have been playing, but then he's going off to the AFCON, isn't it? Yeah?
Taiwo?
Yeah.
No, he'd be injured.
No, but I'm saying if he was fit. he'd be going to the
Yeah, he would.
African
Yeah.
Cup of Nations, wouldn't it? To me,
Yeah.
Wood's no good. For me, he's no good. Support Divock Origi on. Everyone says he don't look fit. What gets fitness? Match fitness.
True.
With the sorry Ben, just a quick one. With the strikers though, you'd have to go through the Premier League. Like, there's no way Luton would sell Adebayo to us, and no way Bournemouth would sell Slanky to us. But you'd have to go through each team in the Premier League, look at their benches, look at the players who can't get in. Maybe a backup striker who would be good enough for us, because there's no way any of them clubs are going to sell their strikers to us. Is there a Championship striker banging the goals in that league this season? I don't think it really is.
Is there a Championship striker? I do watch Championship, but is there a good striker in the Championship?
I can't even tell who's top scorer in that league at the moment. I know one player we were linked with.
Who's a Blackburn striker? There's a Blackburn striker that is scoring goals for fun, but I don't know who he is.
Would you consider going back in for Iheanacho from Leicester?
Chat, what would you think?
Because with him, he can sit in a bit and he can play up top. Would you go back in for him as a realistic target? Maybe. That could be someone you could look at.
I don't know. He's a striker.
Patrick Bamford.
Let's flip it. Right. People check that because don't forget, we've got Manuel Dennis, who's on loan. I don't know what he's doing. Is he in Turkey? Or
what's he signed permanent for somewhere?
He's on loan.
I saw a post the other day.
He's on loan to someone. People in the chat, where is he? As well, another player that I think could be going. How about Ben Brereton? He can't get a game at the moment. What about Ben Brereton?
He only just joined there, didn't he, into Villarreal in the summer?
But he wants to leave.
He wants to leave. He hasn't failed it.
What's his name? Who was linked with? Was it Van Hooydonk?
People in the chat. Name a striker that you think, Forest, be realistic, we could get in January. This is the question I want to know.
What about Danny Ings?
I don't know. Could be.
I prefer him to what we've got, at least.
Yeah.
He would do a job for 6 months.
Yeah,
he'd be more of a threat than Chris Wood.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I know we've been linked to him before. I wouldn't take Che Adams now.
No.
Because his goals are dried up. He doesn't score many in the Championship, so I don't think he gets that much game time. So I wouldn't really kindle that interest. But maybe Danny Ings might be a good shout.
What about Tommy?
I
don't think like that. I mean, it'd be incredible, wouldn't it? But
would he leave Roma?
Yeah, I don't think he would.
These two are no chance. Mohammed, no chance.
Absolutely no way you can get him.
Mason Greenwood up. Not that. No.
Get lost for that.
He's a good player, fantastic player, but no. Adam Armstrong. Oh, is that? Does he know? Is it him?
That's
for Lampson, he is.
He's a Southampton striker, isn't he?
Oh, I think he might be top scorer.
People in the chat. Who's that Blackburn striker? Scores for fun. I forgot his name. What? Let's Blackburn Rovers striker.
Sure. I know there's the one from Sunderland as well. I don't know his name, but
people in the chat, who would you want? Right, let's just people in the chat. If you can do a massive favor, please do hit the like button. There's 107 people in there. If you can, so please do hit the like. I think it's because of Dylan. Dylan's back again. Where's people watching? Because the man he's back. Sorry, Steve lad, because he just got the biggest head in there as well. Yeah, that's him. That's him. He's
him. I've been checking. Yeah,
that's him. Well, thank you, Gordon, for that. He needs to play that.
14 goals in 22 games.
See,
I'm going to say, put someone in we've already got, and everyone's going to laugh at this. I stick Murillo up front.
No, we need pace.
Mate, you stuck Murillo up front against Bournemouth, and he goes and gets 2 to 3 goals. Do you know what I mean? He's strong.
Oh, can I just sorry, Ben, just about the game? Can I just mention some of the game last night? I forgot to mention the chance, but Willie Bolly had.
Oh yeah, that one is.
Oh my God! Why did he? Never mind. He just came back to me and all those defenders being strikers, and I was like, oh my God! I think I'm still traveling over the fence.
I've got another super chat, and again from Andrew. Thank you again, much appreciated for the money, and that'll go straight to Stephen. Thank you, Pam, for his no, I can't say his Wi-Fi. His Wi-Fi has gone better, hasn't it, Steve?
No, yeah, I've upgraded now. It's Scottish Wi-Fi now.
It's all a super chat. So,
you actually got fibre optic now.
So, in fact, and again, another question: any point by the striker when Cooper is only defense? But Andrew, the problem is,
he has a point. He has a point.
No, he has. But Dylan, what do you expect him to do?
Yeah,
what do you expect Cooper to do?
No, exactly. What do you expect him to do? But this is what I'm trying to make. What identity do we have at this moment? Last year, we had an identity.
Thank you.
Is Johnson running down the wings? We had that, didn't we? Attacking football, counter-attacking football. That's what we had last season. We get rid of Johnson. We never really replaced him. Yeah. All right. We've got Alanga. This is what Rex gets me a bit. Is we've got Alanga on the left. We've got Hudson-Odoi, who's just come back from injury, who we know what can do when he's on his form. So why are we not playing them if that's the way he likes to play, why aren't we playing that way? Yes, we haven't got a striker at the minute, but sure we can sort something out. Do you know what I mean? Stick Divock Aribi in there, tell him to stay in this 6-yard box and don't move.
Let's change subject. And again, we talk about this chat all the time about the goalkeeper situation with Turner, with Vlach. Let me ask you. Let me get you, Rads, on this one. And people in the chat, get involved. Who is our best goalkeeper? Who is our best goalkeeper? Turner or Vlach?
Samba.
Bring back Samba. Go on, Rads.
That's my sentimental coming back again.
I keep giving the difficult questions to Rads. Who's better? People in the chat as well, get involved.
Best goalkeeper is a bit of an overstatement, really. I mean, I don't really think we have one. Because
Wayne Hennessy.
Bring Wayne Hennessy back.
Get a big Wayne in there. You may as well.
Even Horvath. I think Horvath can do a better job. But he's not in the 25 squad, though. He's not in the 25 squad, which is a shame.
I mean, I think both the keepers we've got are... I don't like to dig players out, but they're just both rather average, I think. And maybe it's harsh on Vlachodimos because he's not played as much as Turner, but everyone goes on about he's not made many saves and he's letting a lot of goals. So, he's not... And I've seen Benfica fans have since said they were really pleased that he left.
Yes, they did. It was.
I didn't actually know until recently, so that probably speaks volumes.
What they said... No, I remember... So, sorry to put in, Raz. When we signed him, I was speaking to a fan and said, I was happy because I think he had an argument with the owner at Benfica and got rid of him. So, carry on, Raz.
Yeah, so that being one thing, apart from that Villa game, I don't think he's really looked convincing, Vlachodimos, and he didn't really have many chances in that Villa game, even though we were under the cosh. Villa weren't really having many actual efforts on target. And then Turner, he came in to be our number one, really, even though he clearly wasn't our first priority. It was obviously Henderson, and there was lots of other keepers we were linked with in the summer. And it took us so long to even get a goalkeeper in. And he looked all right at first, but I find him incredibly nerve-wracking to watch. The amount on the ball, the amount of times he leaves it late to make a decision or divers. That Brentford game, he got caught up multiple times in the space of about 20 minutes. Very nearly probably got sent off for that challenge that he had on, I think it was in Bomo. The Luton game, I think that was the last time we played. No, it was Liverpool. The Liverpool, he came flying out yesterday. Rookie error, not only to kick it straight to the opposition, but then be beaten as easily as he was. So any other time I'd say take Turner out, but we've already tried that, and Blasher Demos isn't any better. So, it is quite extreme signing a new goalkeeper in January when we signed 2 in the summer, but that says an awful lot about our recruitment. So, maybe a new goalkeeper is needed, but since Samba left,
for January.
I mean, but unless these 2 improve, it's like we haven't got one we can trust really, unless they can start performing consistently. But since Samba left us, we have not had a settled goalkeeper. I think having a settled goalkeeper is like a really important part of the team. Like, you want to have a settled team, and we don't have one at all. But when you've got a rotating goalkeeper as well, that's like the ultimate sign of no identity. Just pure chaos. Because it was Henderson, then he got injured, then you bring in Navas. He was on loan. There was question marks over him, and he's certainly better than what we've got. And then you've got essentially 2 bench goalkeepers as our first choices. So I'm really really concerned about the keeper situation. Really, I don't really trust either of them.
Would you bring De Gea in free transfer 200k a week?
Not for them wages, but I think he'd probably solve the problem.
It's free though, isn't it? So you ain't got to sign on.
But then again, actually, we had Navas on loan, and he would have been on some wages. So
Matilda Marinakis, sort it out. Sort it out. Sort it out. There's so much to talk about, but let's say it's our show, people. There's another thing I want to talk about. Sangare. Steve, was he in? I don't know if he was injured or not, or was he not in the squad? I don't know.
I didn't catch a lot what they said before the game, why he wasn't included. I haven't seen a lot online about it either.
I read a tweet earlier, and someone said that who was it? Paul Taylor, actually.
Yeah.
A tweet from Paul Taylor said he was slightly injured. I think he said he got a hamstring injury or something like that.
Groin strain. That's from Red Sparrow. But the question is, right, and
that's it, groin strain.
This is what annoys me, and like I said, people know how I feel about Yates, and Yates he's not been great. Let's keep it real. He's not been great. But who would you put in Sangare's placement? Because we've got Mangala, he can play a role. Who else is the end? Konate. But I think we're playing. I'm not a fan of 3 DMs in that midfield, and when you got players like Danilo, Dominguez, who are more attacking. I think we need at least one of them in that midfield 3. But I'm asking you, Dylan, people in the chat as well. Do you think it's Ryan Yates deserve all this stick? Because I get the stick because he's a homegrown player, blah blah blah. I always stick for him. I always say when he's not playing a good game, I'll say it like I am. But do you think he deserves all the stick because he's our homegrown player?
No, but I don't believe he deserves all the stick because he's just an easy target. You know what I mean? No one's gonna lay into Mangala. No one's gonna really lay into Sangare. You know what I mean? Dominguez and people like that. He's just an easy target. But the thing I like about Yates, he's not the best, and Yates will know he's not the best. And do you know what I mean? But this is why people like him, like in the industry, like Roy Keane. Roy Keane loves him. And I think he still talks to him because he was quite close to him when he came to Forest. Do you know what I mean? Because he learns. He's learning. And yesterday, and what he's done is he's come out the team, and everyone was like, "Oh, he's gone now. He's out of the way. He's out of the squads. He's not in." But he got his head down, and he cracked on. Do you know what I mean? And it brought him his chance back now. Yes, he's not as flashy as everyone makes out. And I thought yesterday he was lucky not to get a yellow card early on because he was just seemed to be going in for everything really hard. Do you know what I mean? But I just think he's an easy target because he is an homegrown player. Do you know what I mean? Yes, he's not Premier League-ish quality.
Right,
but
wait,
I mean, himself up.
This one, Graham. Yates is a championship class player. Sorry, Graham, but I've got to disagree with you. Like I said, if that's how you feel, but he's not. Steve, what do you think of that comment? Yates is a championship class player. People in the chat, is he a championship player? Is he a Premier League player? Steve, what do you think?
my personal opinion on Yates as it stands now, I think, like Dylan just said about the game last night, yes, he was going in tough and hard, but then it shows him fighting. We were crying out for that at Fulham, and no one put a challenge in. But then Yates does play on the boat. He does play on that edge, doesn't he? And he puts it where it hurts. You know, every game he gets battered, and he gets kicked. He kicks himself, and he just puts his body on the line, and that's how much he means to him. But for technical way, he's not the best. You know, he doesn't spray the ball around. He doesn't get on the ball a lot, and he just gives it simple. But that's what Yates is. And if you're going to ask me about if he's Championship or Premier League, the only way to answer that is, would any other Premiership team take him? You would have to ask their fans. You would have to ask their club. Would he get into any other Premiership side? For me, he'd probably get into maybe lower half to bottom, maybe. I didn't. He wouldn't get into any top 10. Like Villa wouldn't take him, Brighton wouldn't take him, Brentford, and that's no disrespect to Yates, but then kind of teams wouldn't take him. I think majority of the Championship would take him, especially with the way some of them teams played on there. And we all know how rough that league is. But Yates is Yates, isn't it? You know, and it is strange with three of our best players at the moment, as it stands now, we're going back to type. Is Nico, Toff, and Yates.
Yeah.
And none of our best players in form at the moment, and none of the signings we made in the summer, we're going back to type. And it just shows that one thing I will say, Cooper, we know now the players he can trust. And yeah, maybe we had criticising Kouate, but maybe he trusts Kouate as well. You know, and he may be not technically as good as Sangare or whatever, but he's picking his play, and Yates is one of them players.
Let me just respond to Graham. So if you say how many free kicks does he give away? How many free kicks does Sangare give away? Does that mean does that mean he's he Dutch football? I put on level to Scottish football. Does that?
But how many free kicks does Yates win? How many free kicks also Yates wins? Yates wins as many free kicks as he does give away. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, Yates does frustrate me sometimes. The way he kind of dives into a chat. Yeah, he does, and he sometimes just the best to stand the man up. But he does dive in. But that's the way you take that out of Yates, and then he's half the player. But then he does win a lot of free kicks as well. He does get involved. He does. There was an incident yesterday by the touchline, and I think it was in Doggy or someone. He just got straight into him. You know, bang. He won the free kick, and then the A block was like, he took him out, and he was like, "That's the fight you want to see." You know, and all these people who just, you know, were the other midfielders making that commitment at Fulham? No.
Well, they're different type of. Don't forget though, Yates is he's homegrown. He loves the club. He gets it. He knows the fans. Everyone's screaming around the side. He's been one of them. He's all that.
Yeah.
The likes of Mangala, Sangala, and all that.
We're not allowed to say that because we'll get in trouble.
What?
The homegrown player, he's one of our own. We're not allowed to sing it. That's what I'm hearing.
Well, no, but I'll say it.
Yeah.
But anyway, but that's his passion. That's his thing. And it was like we saw with Worrell as well. When Worrell ever played, do you know what I mean? He used to give that passion. That's the only.
But you know what? Sorry, Dills. You know what though, Ben? Right? You saying about we're not allowed to say that because people get with the whole. But you know what? For every fan who says that, right? If they were to put a Forest shirt on and play at the City ground, would they not give 100%? Would they not get stuck in? Would they not? How much would it mean to them to play for Forest? And like Dylan said, players like Yates, Worrell, and even Johnson when he was with us, it means a lot. It means a lot to them because they are Forest boys, and that's like every club has got them. They've got their homegrown talent. It's just I heard like Rashford at Man United gets a lot of abuse from there because again he's homegrown talent. They focus on him, and you could probably go to other clubs where they got that player and they are an easy target. But these people who are targeting these players, you're telling me if you didn't put the shirt on, do you think that's what it is then? You know, the players who are not, if they're homegrown talent and they're not putting the effort in or they're not good enough, they get easily targeted because they're one of their own. It's just really strange mentality to have. Like you come up through the academy, you go through all that, and then you get slaughtered more than the other players who come in and just for a paycheck.
And this is my problem with, like I said, Sangari comes in, 35 million. He's come from a rubbish league. It's going to take time for him to be a fantastic player. But what's he done in the Premier League? Well, I think this is my opinion, and this is not the panel on no one else. This is my opinion. He will come a good player, but he's got to start now. He's got to start now, not 6 months later. Now, and is Cooper right to take him off against Fulham? Yes, because he was rubbish, and that's a fact. He was rubbish and got dropped against Wolves. He just hasn't good yet for me. Right, I've always said Sangari was an upgrade version to Yates, but that's not what argument to say.
Sorry, just one more thing, like you say, is the likes of Sangara, the likes of Dominguez, the likes of Danilo, players like this. The one thing you've got to look at is Cooper hasn't got a settled 11. That's the problem. So Dominguez is coming in for 1 or 2. They're going back out. Same with Danilo. Same with Sangara. He's coming in. But then he's filtering out. How many times do we know if players are not playing constantly, their form dip? Do you know what I mean? So I think the basic is get a starting 11. Right, they're the ones I want. This is the way we're going to play, and we just keep going with it. And that's what I think that's where that might lift us.
Before we get the last talk about last topic of the show, Andrew keep pulling this. Last one, keep on the faith, boys. Come on your heads. Good night. Thank you for the £2. That goes straight to Rads, and that we'll get him. People in the chat, what should I get Rads for Christmas for the £2? What should I get for him in the chat? What should I get him? New hats, something.
Get him a nice new scarf.
New scarf. I've seen a bit a lot. Yeah, Andrew, thank you. You're a legend. £6 you gave me for the stream. I much appreciate for that. I'll get you a new scarf, Rads. Is that okay?
I've got plenty of scarves, but you know what? Add to the collection.
So the last topic, because we said we need an hour mark. We're talking about Steve Cooper, and like I said, there's always going to be pressure on him throughout the show. And I put on Instagram about where's the limit for him. Let me ask you, Steve. There's always going to be a limit for every manager. Do you think Cooper's limit has gone, or do you think he can carry on and wait for him to get a decent striker in January? As well, get involved.
That obviously that is down to the big man to make that decision. But for me, I think Rad's touched on it earlier. This run of games we got coming up. I mean, the game Saturday, if we win, he'll survive. But I mean, we go to Newcastle then. I mean, they're just turning teams over for fun up there. You know, they just turned over Fulham, who just hammered us and West Ham 5-0. I know Fulham had a player sent off, but they brush it like away. Newcastle are terrible. They chalk and cheese, you know. And then we got Man United at home, and then what kind of team Man United will turn up? I mean, we said it last year. This is an awful Man United side, and we're going to lose to them. We didn't take nothing off them last year. And then, I mean, do we get to me, Ben? Honestly, I think I don't know. Will he give it that time? I don't think he will, mate. I think his day to die. You know, even if he wins Saturday, is he still safe?
Never be. He'll never be. He'll never be. He'll never be.
The decision is made. The decision has got to be made by now.
And I keep seeing this thing coming up. The Palace are just swooping. They're just waiting for Forest to pull the trigger. But Palace won Cooper. And Palace has been linked with him in the past. That's why it all fell through with Swansea, right? I think it's just a matter of time. Like Dylan's saying, I think they're going to get their man, being if it's Lopetegui or if it's this guy who coached Frankfurt, or will they go full out and try and get Marco Silva from Fulham? I heard he's got a big get-out clause in his contract.
I don't want him. No, don't want Silva.
Would you not take Marco Silva? No.
No.
Oh, okay.
Right. No, currently, I'll have my say.
No. It's just, you know, again, we could all throw names up who we would have and who we wouldn't have, and Me personally, I can't put a name on it. I don't know who be the right fit. I mean, I just want someone to come in, kick the players up the backside, get a formation, like Dylan said, get an identity, get a partner play, then give that manager time to get a striker in, if that is Cooper. Yeah, but then if Cooper is given time and given more back in January, we still don't get results. How far does it go, Ben? Do we end up being in bottom three? Just keep on going at the L's and the L's and L's and the odd D, and then it's just where does the W come from? Bournemouth are coming Saturday and they are in good form. And look at their manager was linked with us in the summer, and look what he's doing now. He didn't win in the first 10 games, was it? Or yeah, I think they won in the first 8 to 10 games. And look at them now. So it's very thing in it, Ben. What do you do in this day and age with managers? Do you ride it out? Do you give them time? Or for me, I think Cooper's hit the limit. Has he taken us as far as he can, maybe? I thought if we kicked on this season, we got mid-table, then he's progressed. But we're just declining. And for me, maybe his time has become stale. And maybe the players want fresh ideas and fresh voice in the dressing room, maybe.
Rad, next one, and this one from Andrew. Rad, what is your view? New manager, I respect your views. Go on, Rad. What do you think?
I mean, I kind of somewhat mentioned it earlier, but yeah, I mean, but I've already said sentimentality comes into it with Cooper, but as we've already said, like with the form we're on, and it doesn't appear to be changing, like the way we play, the results more than anything. It's like where is that next win coming from, or even point right now? Like I know we got a point against Wolves, which we didn't really expect. But then we're going to lose to Spurs, and I know it's Spurs, but we're just the enemies of our own downfall in that game with the goals we conceded again. Same mistakes, and it's not entirely on Cooper. We've turned to making that mistake, for example, but a lot of whenever it's a bad run of form, it typically the manager has a lot of a lot of the reason for that. So I do have to agree with what a lot of people are saying. I don't want to see Cooper go, but maybe it is the right moment. My only fear with it is, and I can't really name anyone because I just don't know, is who comes in.
That's the thing. Who is a better manager?
Yeah, who's truly going to do any better?
Like I said, before I get to it, who can get a better manager? Like Steve Cooper, that can lift us. But we don't know. That's the problem. We don't know. This next manager could be great, but win the Premier League, and it's good. I think Mr. Marinakis, it's so important for him to make the right decision for him.
Yeah.
The right decision. Because if he doesn't, the way the love, like I say, 75% of Forest fans or 80 or 90, I love Cooper now, won't have the same love to this new manager because he's got to prove it. We're not in the Championship anymore. We're in the Premier League. Lastly, Dylan, what's your choice on Cooper? Like same question I asked Stephen Rads.
It's just we could sit. Do you know what I want? This is what I've been thinking as well. Is the people are saying, has he got one more game? Has he got this and that? Me personally, I think the decision's already made. I think it was made last week.
Yeah. I
think it's the question of waiting for probably interviewing the guy, getting hold of him, letting him watch a game or two. I think he goes this week.
Really?
I think he goes. Yeah, I think he does, and I think I've got a feeling he goes this week, maybe early doors. But this is the thing: if the owner, I know I've heard people say that the owner's a bit because he's gung ho at Olympiakos. In Greece, he runs it all. Don't it? He doesn't give a shit.
Well, he didn't now. No, didn't it? That's a lie. He don't run it anymore. He got. He removed himself, didn't it?
He got impeached, didn't it? But anyway,
Here we are. Not doing it anymore.
But don't forget here, the Premier League, the football here is different. Do you know what I mean? And he's listened to the fans. And he said at the end of last season, oh, you stuck with Cooper. And he basically blatantly come out on telly and said, well, there was no one else. Do you know what I mean? So if there was someone else, he would have gone there. But he's giving the benefit of the doubt. Do you know what I mean? Cooper, Cooper is not a bad coach whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? He's not.
And he
become
wasn't
bad.
lucky, and he wasn't lucky to get us promoted to the Premier League.
No.
What can that person say? I'm not going to throw that person to the boss.
But look, I will use this as a thing here, right? That team we had, and I was at that game with you. Remember the last game that Chris Hughton played? Yeah, Ben, I sat with you at that game, and we left that game, right? So Chris Hughton had that squad of players. Steve Cooper comes in with the same squad of players and turned it all around with the same. Do you know what I mean? So what I'm trying to do is look at it different. So Chris Hughton had an idea of a way to play, and that it didn't work. Cooper comes in with the same players, played a different way of playing, and got it to work. Do you know what I mean? So the way of looking at it now is Cooper's trying his best, but he's going back to what he knows. Oh, well, that's not working, so I'll go back to this. Well, we saw this again last season. Do you know what I mean? Well, I'm trying this, but this ain't working, so I'm going to go back to this. So now maybe getting someone else in with a different set of ideas, someone might say, well, instead of doing it this way, I'm going to do it this way. And that might work. It might not. But it was like, again, when we took the chance on Cooper, that we never knew that was going to work. So we don't know. Do you know what I mean? So what I really want to see is, let me just get this bit out. What I really want to see is, and I think we'll see this week, or maybe next, is if the owner is going to stick with Steve Cooper, he will come out and say it. He's not backwards at coming forwards, and he will literally come out and say, right, to shut you all up now, basically, I'm sticking with Steve Cooper. This is what the fans want. If you want it, we're going to back him, but please be prepared for the consequences, because if it does go wrong and we do go down, I'm sticking with what you wanted. Do you know what I mean? But that's what we want. Do you know what I mean? Do we want him to come out and say, I'm backing him? So we all know, all right, pressure's off Cooper. Cooper can do what he wants. Hopefully he turns it around and we go. If he doesn't, then we start again. So I'm just waiting for that statement to come out.
I think people.
I said Ben, didn't I? I said Ben a couple of shows ago is that this next appointment is probably Marinakis' most important appointment he's had since joining us. He has to get this right. Because this one, like Dylan said, with the jump from Houghton to Cooper, I mean, if he got us mid-table that season, it would have been an achievement. To get us promoted like after that Houghton, I think it was Middlesbrough game you were on about, Dylan, is it? His last game,
Yes.
The Middlesbrough home game.
Yeah.
I mean, who would have thought watching that, I watched it as well, thinking, we'd get promoted 9 months on. You never dreamt of it.
I was very
angry.
I can remember walking down the stairs with Ben, because I sat with Ben. And we walked down the stairs. By the time we got to the bottom of the stand, Ben turned around to me and went, he's been sacked. Like that. And then was it the day later, the next morning later, Steve Cooper's appointed.
Yeah. And with this situation now, is that, I mean, like you said, Ben, if a new guy comes in, we get relegated with a new guy. Straight away, that new boss gets absolutely pounded. Marinakis gets pounded. Oh, you sacked Cooper, you should have stuck with him. But then if the new guy saves us and gets us at the table, then Marinakis looks like the messiah, because he's saved us from, you sacked Cooper, you brought this guy in, he saved us. But then if Cooper goes on to Crystal Palace and gets them to mid-table and we get relegated, we'd be like, oh, look. But then if Palace drop and we take over Palace and Cooper's in charge of them, we'd be like, see, we made the right choice. This could go in any kind of direction.
Yeah.
You know, this could go, I mean, new guy comes in, he could just hit the ground running and, we could win the first 5 games, for example, and Baranak is like, yes, I got the right appointment, because this is so important. This next manager has to hit the ground running, with not just with the fans, but with the team, obviously, now, because of the position we're in. He has to get this one right. Again, it's so hard to pick a name. It's so hard to pick a name who it could be.
People in the chat, like I said, if you are rewatching this, in the comments, who would you want? Listen, I don't want to see it, but Steve Cooper is our manager. Till then, I'm not saying.
Ben, right. Listen, I know you're not going to take it, but take the sentimental value. Forget
I'm
what
not
he's done.
But he's a manager.
But what is it? Yeah, but if he was over any other manager, and not done what he's done, he would have. Everyone would have been calling for him.
Yeah, true.
So take
one win in 14 is not good.
No. Dylan, I fully get understand. Like I said, I don't want to be like, oh, okay. If Steve Cooper got sacked, I don't know what managers can lift us, can build us to the next. I don't know. I think that's a different show because I don't want to. We've gone over the hour mark. Sorry, Dylan. I'm not actually. I'm not actually questioning Dylan, am I?
It's all right. I don't expect you to anyway, because you never do.
I do. Listen, this is why I don't have Dylan on the show. You'll see him back in the next 6 months, people. I'm joking. He'll be back. I think everyone's enjoyed Dylan back on the show as well. But I don't give him a big head. There's still loads that we can talk about, but I don't want to overdo it as well. But yeah, I do appreciate everyone. I appreciate Dylan. I appreciate Steve.
How many likes have you got?
I'm likes. People, come on, man.
How many likes on this video have you got?
I've got so far 36. People, get likes.
36. Get to 100, and I'll definitely come back.
Yeah, please. If I get to 100 likes, people, Dylan, we'll be on the show next one. Yeah, please
and I'll
do.
Spread my wisdom to everyone.
I've missed Dylan as well. I never know. We're going to play Steve. Steve's on here as well. Same as Raz. Make sure everyone go and subscribe to Raz. I did watch the vlog. And let me make it. I didn't hurt Raz on my vlog. I'm going to put that little push I did to him.
It really hurt that push, you know.
Sue me. No, I'll give you that £2. The £2. Is that
Thank
okay?
you. Yeah, that's a good way of apologising. I appreciate that.
Just one more thing, Stephen. Yeah. Your friend was at the game last night. Your new best buddy was at the game last night, Mr. Sean Dyche.
Oh yeah, he was there. Yeah, I did see him.
Michael McIntyre was sat in front of him.
Yeah, and he was next to Ian Rowan as well. Yeah.
See what I mean? This is what happens when Dylan gets special seats and Steven sits next to Sean Dyche. When I'm just in my little seat.
You got a special seat.
Special seat. Right, people, before we do a massive favour for me, please do hit the like button. And if you are rewatching this, in the comments below, if there are any discussion, like we said, any topics that you want to get involved, please do, and I will reply to all. Make sure, like I said, everyone subscribe to Rads. Make sure everyone subscribe to himself. I think I'll do a show. I keep seeing, what's his name? Peter the Irish guy. I looked at your message and you want to have a chat because you want to see Cooper out. People in the chat, do you want me and Peter Irish guy to have a debate, like a formal debate, one-on-one, and have a conversation? People want it. Please get in the
It's great content, that. Yeah.
Great content. So like I said, people, if you want it, if it's going to see Cooper out, people out there, just come on, holler at me. Right, thank you for everyone. Make sure I will be back. I will be doing a show as well. I'll definitely do a show on Thursday with for Bournemouth fan. What's his name now? I'll be back Thursday 9 o'clock for that. And I will do a show either Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. One of the days I will do a show and we'll talk.
Can we just say before you go, Ben? Just to say good luck. Well wishes to the player from Luton today that collapsed again.
Oh yeah.
I hope he recovers so quick. I know it's
he did it in the playoffs as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did it in the playoffs as well. So I hope he recovers soon as.
I see some Forest players have already tweeted wishing him all the best and all that.
Yeah. So well done for that, man. Luckily, that's it. Luckily, I hope he recovers well. Like I said, it was the second time.
I got to say, lads, right? I had a lump in my throat when Rob Edwards walked around the ground. If you haven't seen the footage yet, it's very emotional.
Yeah, I've seen it when they went on the ground as well. It was emotional. And to be fair,
Bournemouth fans were good as well. To be fair, even they were champions.
Yeah, played to Bournemouth fans as well. But I said I hope Tom Lockley recovers soon as. And pray for him and his family as well. Like I said, people, thank you everyone for taking time. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Raz. Make sure everyone make sure after this, go straight to Raz's blog, go and watch it.
Yes.
And if you are, go and subscribe to the channel as well. Peace and love, people. We'll be back. We'll be back. We'll beat Bournemouth. We'll win 5-0, and then maybe we'll do something. Peace and love. Up the Forest, people.